we have some important breaking news. It seems that Americans no longer believe in the American dream. At least the new American dream is not in America. For decades, the American dream meant one thing: work hard, buy a house, build a career, retire comfortably. But for a growing number of Americans, that dream no longer feels possible. So instead of chasing success at home, thousands are quietly leaving the country altogether. And one place, more than almost anywhere else, has become the center of this modern escape: Mexico. Not for vacation, not for retirement, but for a completely different way of life. Over the last few years, Americans have flooded into cities like Mexico City, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, Puerto Vallarta, and Mérida. Some came searching for lower costs. Others came searching for freedom. And many came searching for something harder to explain: peace. Because somewhere along the way, millions of people began to feel like the life they were told to chase no longer made them happy. And that may be why the new American dream is no longer in America. For most of the 20th century, the American dream felt achievable. A single income could support a family. Homes were affordable. College opened doors. And hard work seemed to lead somewhere. But over time, that reality began to change. Housing prices exploded. Healthcare costs climbed higher every year. Wages struggled to keep up with inflation. And millions of Americans found themselves working harder while feeling further behind. At the same time, modern life became increasingly fast, loud, and exhausting. Long commutes, constant notifications, economic anxiety, burnout. For many people, success no longer felt like freedom. It felt like survival. And then something happened that changed everything. The world shut down. During the pandemic, millions of workers discovered something that had once seemed impossible. They could work from anywhere. For the first time, people began asking themselves a dangerous question. If work is online, why am I still living somewhere that makes me unhappy? That question changed everything. Suddenly, people who once felt trapped by geography realized they had options. And many of them started looking south. Mexico quickly became one of the most attractive destinations for Americans seeking a different life. Not just because it was affordable, but because it felt different. The pace of life was slower. People spent more time outside, more time with family, more time actually living. In cities across Mexico, Americans discovered beach towns, rooftop cafes, walkable neighborhoods, warm weather, and a lifestyle that felt impossible back home. For many remote workers, entrepreneurs, creators, and freelancers, Mexico offered something that felt increasingly rare in modern America: balance. Places like Playa del Carmen, Tulum, Puerto Vallarta, Oaxaca, and Mexico City began attracting thousands of newcomers searching for a reset. Some came for financial reasons. Others came for adventure. But many arrived carrying something invisible: exhaustion. Because for years, modern culture had taught people to constantly chase more. More money, more productivity, more status, more work. But eventually, many began wondering if they were sacrificing their happiness in the process. And in Mexico, some people felt like they had finally stepped off the treadmill. But the reality of moving abroad is not always as perfect as social media makes it seem. Living in another country comes with challenges: language barriers, homesickness, loneliness, visa complications, cultural differences. And as more foreigners move into certain areas, some local communities have become frustrated with rising rents and increasing costs of living. Not everyone finds happiness abroad. And leaving one country does not automatically solve personal problems. But despite those challenges, the movement continues to grow. Because for many Americans, this shift is about more than money. It's about identity. For decades, the American dream was built around ownership. A bigger house, a better car, a higher salary. But younger generations are beginning to value something different: freedom, flexibility, time, peace of mind. And for many Americans, that search is leading far beyond the borders of the United States. Not because Mexico is perfect, but because it represents something many people feel they've lost: a slower life, a deeper connection, a chance to breathe again. Maybe the real story isn't about Americans leaving America. Maybe it's about millions of people around the world quietly redefining what success actually means. And perhaps that's why the new American dream is no longer in America.